All right, let's dive into the Egyptian construction market.
Sounds good.
We're going deep with Deal of a Lifetime.
Oh, yeah. Engineer Mohammed Shabana's book.
It's in Arabic, by the way, but don't worry.
We got you covered.
This guy, he's not just some writer. He's managed massive projects.
Oh, like really massive.
And now he leads a top Cairo construction firm.
Like he's the real deal.
So think of this deep dive as your insider guide.
Yeah. Your blueprint for success in this booming market.
Because, let's be honest, Egypt's construction scene.
It's on fire right now.
It's on fire, exactly.
Shabana, he doesn't just talk theory, He's been there.
He's been in the trenches.
Exactly. He knows the struggles startups face.
Like what? Give us the rundown.
Limited capital, for one.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Fierce competition, tons of it.
Makes sense everyone wants a piece of the pie.
Bureaucracy, ugh, don't even get me started.
We've all been there.
And then delayed payments, that's a killer.
So, yeah, not exactly a walk in the park.
Definitely not. But here's the thing.
I was going to say, the book doesn't just dwell on the problems, does it?
Nope. It's all about solutions, practical strategies for winning those big contracts.
I like the sound of that. Lay it on us.
One key thing Shabana stresses: building a rock-solid reputation.
That's universal, right? No matter the industry.
Absolutely, but especially here.
Even if you're starting small.
Right. You got it? Deliver top-notch quality every single project.
So it's like your portfolio.
Exactly. You're proof you can handle the big leagues.
It's like proving yourself in the minors before getting called up to the majors.
Perfect analogy.
But reputation alone, it's not enough, is it? You got to get your name out there.
You're telling me targeted networking is crucial.
Networking, everyone's favorite word.
Right. But this isn't just about collecting business cards.
It's about real connections.
You said it. Connecting with the decision makers, the people who matter.
At industry events.
For sure. Those are key.
And online platforms. LinkedIn, I'm guessing.
Oh, yeah, that's a gold mine.
So it's about being seen, but also about offering something.
Exactly. It's not just about you. You got to bring value to the table.
But like, what kind of value are we talking about?
Insights, expertise. Can you offer them something unique?
So it's more like becoming a resource.
Yeah, some people want to work with because you bring something special.
Right, someone who adds value, not just another name on a list.
100%, you got it.
Okay, so you've built your reputation, you're networking like crazy, now you're in the room. How do you actually seal the deal?
The million-dollar question.
It all comes down to the proposal, right?
You know it. Shabana says startups got to go beyond just price.
Beyond price, what does that even mean?
It means offering innovative solutions, detailed feasibility studies.
Showing them you've done your homework?
Exactly. You understand their needs better than anyone else.
Okay, now this is getting interesting. Any examples from the book that really illustrate this?
Oh, there's this great story about a startup. They won a contract by proposing this unique water-saving technology.
Interesting. So they weren't the cheapest.
Not even close, but they focused on the long-term cost savings.
No move.
And the environmental benefits. They hit all the right notes.
So they framed it as an investment, not an expense.
Exactly. And it worked.
That's brilliant. Proof that thinking outside the box pays off.
Totally.
But we can't talk about the future of business without talking about, the elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah. The AI revolution, it's here.
It's here, and it's changing everything.
Even small construction firms,
Yeah.
they can leverage AI.
To level the playing field, right?
Exactly. It's not about fancy algorithms. It's about real benefits.
Like what kind of benefits are we talking?
Risk prediction, for one.
Always helpful. Who doesn't want to avoid risks?
Then there's cost optimization.
Saving money, always a good thing.
Improved efficiency. Who doesn't want to work smarter?
And of course, enhanced decision-making.
That's the key, making better choices, faster.
All thanks to AI. Pretty impressive.
It is, but I know you're thinking, these are big promises.
I am. Can you give us some concrete examples of how AI is actually being used on Egyptian construction sites today?
You got it. The book mentions this startup. They use AI to analyze project data.
Project data? Like what kind of data?
Historical data, past projects, you name it.
And what do they do with this data?
They pre-order materials way ahead of time.
So it's all about anticipation.
Exactly. Anticipating lead times, avoiding those last-minute scrambles.
Smart. So no more rushing around at the last minute.
Exactly. AI is like their crystal ball, helping them see into the future of the project.
Okay, I like that. AI is a crystal ball.
Right.
Pretty cool.
What other ways are companies using AI to get ahead?
Inventory management, that's a big one.
Makes sense, keeping track of all those materials.
This company, they use AI to forecast their needs with crazy accuracy.
So they know exactly what they need when they need it.
Yep, they've cut waste and storage costs like you wouldn't believe.
That's impressive. But what about smaller players? Can they afford this kind of tech? Absolutely. Smaller contractors, they're using AI-powered cost estimation tools
So they can create winning bids.
that are both competitive and profitable.
It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
But AI's impact, it goes beyond just crunching numbers, doesn't it?
You're right. It's changing the workforce itself.
When what way? How so?
Think facial recognition for site access control.
Okay, that's pretty futuristic.
And smart cameras. They monitor safety protocols in real time.
So it's like having a digital safety supervisor constantly on the lookout.
Exactly. Always watching, always learning.
That's pretty impressive technology doing what humans can't.
It's amazing what's possible now.
Speaking of eyes in the sky, what about drones? I feel like they're becoming more common on construction sites these days.
Oh yeah, drones are everywhere.
They're not just for cool aerial shots anymore, are they?
Nope, they're doing real work.
What kind of work? Fill us in.
Site monitoring, progress tracking, even detailed inspections.
Wow, so you can survey a massive site in minutes.
Easy, and spot problems before they become headaches.
That's powerful, using technology to save time and money.
That's the name of the game.
It sounds like the Egyptian construction industry is really embracing all these innovations.
They are. They're not afraid to try new things.
Which is great to see, but what about the bigger picture? What's the future of construction in Egypt look like?
Shabana, he paints this fascinating picture of 2030.
2030, that's not that far off.
It's just around the corner. He sees continued growth of these mega projects.
Mega projects, those are always impressive.
But with a focus on, get this, smart and sustainable buildings.
So eco-friendly skyscrapers, powered by renewable energy.
And buzzing with AI, it's a whole new world.
It sounds like we're on the verge of a construction revolution. It's exciting.
It is, but it also raises a question.
I was just thinking that, what does this mean for startups trying to make it in this rapidly evolving market?
Good question. Shabana sees huge potential for startups that specialize.
Specialize, that seems to be a recurring theme.
It is. It's about finding your niche and owning it.
What kind of specializations are we talking about?
Things like smart and sustainable construction.
Makes sense. Riding that wave of the future.
Then there's 3D printing. That's going to be huge.
Oh yeah, 3D printing is changing everything.
And prefabricated construction. That's another big one.
And of course, contributing to those massive infrastructure projects.
Exactly. There's a place for everyone if you know where to look.
So it's all about finding your sweet spot in this evolving market.
100%. That's the key.
And the book highlights startups who are doing just that.
Oh, yeah. There's some amazing stories in there.
Give us a taste. What are they doing?
Some are offering these innovative solutions like smart thermal insulation.
Keeping those buildings cool and energy efficient.
Others are focusing on really specific areas like prefabricated bathrooms for high-rises.
So they're finding their niche and becoming the go-to experts.
That's the strategy. Become the best at what you do.
It's inspiring to see how these companies are carving their own path to success.
It shows that anything is possible with the right approach.
Let's zoom out for a second. Winning contracts is just the beginning, right?
You got it. It's about building a company that lasts.
A company that can thrive in the long run.
Exactly. That's where Shabana's insights become really valuable.
Because he goes beyond just landing deals.
He focuses on building a sustainable business, a company that's built to last.
So it's about more than just short-term wins.
It's about the long game, creating something that has real impact.
What are some of the key takeaways from the book that stood out to you on this topic?
Well, he keeps coming back to this idea of specialization, which we talked about.
Right, finding your niche, becoming the expert.
Then there's the importance of building strong relationships.
That seems to be crucial in any business, but especially in construction.
Absolutely. It's all about trust and connection.
And then embracing technology, we've seen how important that is.
It's not just a trend, it's the future.
And of course, smart planning, you can't just wing it.
Planning is everything, especially in this industry.
It's like building a pyramid, brick by brick, with a solid foundation.
That's a great way to put it.
And a vision for the future.
You got to know where you're going.
Any other practical tips from the book that really resonated with you?
One that really stuck with me is this idea of building a strong reputation through consistent quality.
So it's not enough to just deliver one amazing project.
You got to make your trademark every single time.
It's like establishing a brand where quality is your signature.
Exactly. People need to know what to expect from you, and it better be good.
And what about investing in your team?
Oh, Shaban is huge on that. Investing in training, creating a positive work environment,
Empowering your employees.
making them feel valued.
So it's about creating a culture where everyone feels invested in the company's success.
You said it, it's about more than just a paycheck.
It's about building something together.
Exactly. That's how you create a team that's unstoppable.
But even with a great team, there's always a learning curve, right?
Right.
Especially with new technologies popping up all the time.
For sure. Construction is always evolving.
So how does Shabana suggest companies approach this continuous learning process?
He's all about lifelong learning.
I like the sound of that.
It's about staying curious, never getting complacent,
So what does that look like in practice?
attending industry conferences,
Those are always a good way to network and learn new things.
reading trade publications, staying up to date on the latest trends,
It's like doing your homework, even when you're out of school,
connecting with other professionals,
sharing knowledge, bouncing ideas off each other,
seeking out mentorship opportunities.
finding someone who's been there and done that.
It's about surrounding yourself with people who can challenge and inspire you.
So knowledge is power, but only if you're actively seeking it out.
Absolutely. You got to be hungry for it.
But let's be real, even with the best preparations, sometimes things go wrong.
It happens. It's part of the process.
So how does Shabana advise we handle those inevitable setbacks and failures?
One of the most valuable lessons in the book is his perspective on failure.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
He doesn't see it as a sign of weakness,
It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned.
but Shabana sees it as a chance to learn and improve.
So it's not about avoiding failure, it's about learning from it.
Exactly. Analyze what went wrong, extract the lessons.
And use those insights to make your processes and strategies even stronger.
That's the key, turning those stumbles into stepping stones.
It's about building a more resilient and adaptable business.
A business that can handle whatever comes its way.
That's such a powerful message. It's not about being perfect, it's about getting better.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And that, my friend, is a great place to pause for now.
Catch our breath, let these ideas sink in.
We'll be back in part 2 of our deep dive to explore even more of Shabana's insights.
So stay tuned, there's a lot more to come.
We'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good. Picking up where we left off, one of the biggest challenges Shabana talks about is dealing with resistance to change.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. People getting stuck in their ways.
Especially in construction, it's a pretty traditional industry.
So you got those who are like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. And they're hesitant, even fearful, of new technologies.
So how do you win them over? What does Shabana suggest?
He's all about a practical approach.
Practical. I like that. Cut through the fluff.
Show them the data, the evidence.
Don't just talk about AI. Show them how it works.
Exactly. Let's say you're implementing a smart attendance system.
Okay, makes sense. Track people coming and going.
You demonstrate how it reduces wasted time, how it leads to increased earnings.
Appeal to their logic and their wallets.
You got it. Concrete results, that's what matters.
Makes sense. It's hard to argue with cold, hard cash.
Right. But sometimes, even the data isn't enough.
You got those who are just stuck in their ways no matter what.
For those folks, Shabana says, let them experience the change firsthand.
Show them. Don't just tell them.
Exactly. Let them feel the difference.
So it's like test driving a car,
You got it. You can read all the specs you want.
but until you get behind the wheel, you don't really get it.
He tells this story about a project manager couldn't convince his team to use drones for site inspections.
Drones, yeah, those are pretty cool.
So he does a side-by-side comparison.
Old school versus new school.
The traditional method, it took hours.
Drones, minutes, probably.
Bingo. The results were undeniable.
And the team became drone enthusiasts.
Convinced by the power of technology.
It's funny how a simple demonstration can change people's minds.
Sometimes seeing is believing.
But change doesn't happen overnight, right?
Definitely not. It's a process.
How should we approach this whole thing of bringing resistant folks on board?
Shabana emphasizes starting small, scaling gradually.
Don't try to revolutionize everything at once.
One new technology, one new process at a time,
Let people adapt, get comfortable.
then build from there.
It's like dipping your toes in the pool before diving headfirst.
Exactly. Get everyone acclimated.
And he also suggests making the transition fun.
Turn it into a game, a challenge.
Gamifying change, I like it.
A little healthy competition never hurt anyone.
It can be a great motivator for sure.
But let's be real. Some people will always resist.
You can't win them all.
So what do you do then?
That's the question. How do you deal with that persistent resistance?
Shabana recommends a multi-pronged approach.
Multi-pronged, I like the sound of that. Hit it from all angles.
First, listen to their concerns.
Really listen, not just pretend to.
Maybe they have valid points.
They might, you never know.
The technology is too complex, they fear being replaced.
Those are legitimate fears.
So you acknowledge their fears, show empathy,
Don't just dismiss them.
and if their concerns are valid, be willing to compromise.
Find that middle ground.
Start with a simpler version of the technology, provide more training.
Offer reassurance about job security.
It's about finding a solution that works for everyone.
It's about collaboration, not confrontation.
Exactly, working together towards a common goal.
Another strategy he mentions is identifying key influencers, those who can champion the change.
If a respected team leader embraces the change, others are more likely to follow.
The power of leading by example.
That's contagious.
But how do we know if we're actually succeeding? What's the sign that we've created a culture that embraces change?
Shabana says, when the team starts suggesting improvements on their own,
Without being prompted.
that's when you know you've achieved a culture of continuous improvement.
So it's about empowering them to become agents of change themselves.
They become part of the solution.
That's powerful stuff, but we've talked a lot about the why.
The why of embracing technology,
But what about the how? What specific technologies should construction companies be leveraging?
especially startups.
What are the must-haves?
Shabana's top recommendation: smart project management software.
Okay, so this is the essential tool.
These platforms, they're game changers.
In what way? How so?
They streamline operations, track progress, manage budgets.
Keep everyone on the same page.
They're like the central nervous system of the entire project.
I like that analogy, the brain of the operation.
What other tools does he recommend?
I'm all ears.
He's a big fan of AI-powered cost estimation and risk management tools.
AI, back at it again.
These tools, they analyze historical data, market trends, even weather patterns.
They can predict potential issues, allocate resources more effectively.
They take the guesswork out of budgeting and planning,
It's like having a digital fortune teller.
but one that's grounded in data, not superstition.
Data-driven fortune telling, I can get behind that.
We've talked about drones too.
Right, those are becoming indispensable for site monitoring.
Progress tracking, safety inspections,
Imagine being able to survey a huge construction site in minutes.
identify potential hazards or errors before they become major problems.
It's like having a team of digital inspectors constantly patrolling the site.
Always on the lookout.
That's pretty impressive, but AI and drones aren't the only game in town.
You're right, 3D printing is shaking things up too.
3D printing in construction, that sounds futuristic.
It has the potential to revolutionize how we build.
In what way? How so?
Imagine constructing entire building units in days.
Days, not months.
Less material, less waste.
Faster, more efficient, more sustainable.
That's the future.
It's like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's happening now.
It is. It's becoming a reality.
Are there Egyptian construction companies already using this technology?
Absolutely. The book highlights a company in Sheikh Zayed.
Sheikh Zayed, that's a hotbed for development.
They're using 3D printing to create prefabricated offices.
So these are like modular units?
They can be integrated into larger projects.
What are the benefits?
Significant cost savings, reduced construction times.
So they're more competitive.
That's the name of the game.
It's encouraging to see these innovations being adopted in Egypt.
It shows that the industry is forward-thinking.
But keeping up with all this new technology, it can be a challenge.
It can. It's a lot to take in.
How do we stay ahead of the curve? What does Shabana say?
He emphasizes staying informed about emerging technologies.
So it's all about continuous learning.
Attend conferences, read trade publications, connect with other professionals.
It's about being a student of the game, even when you're a pro.
Exactly. Never stop learning.
So it's not just about building structures, it's about building a mindset
A mindset that's ready to adapt.
to whatever the future holds.
That's the key.
And that's a great segue into part 3 of our deep dive.
We'll be back shortly to explore even more of Shabana's insights.
Stay tuned, folks. The best is yet to come. All right, welcome back to our deep dive into Deal of a Lifetime.
Back for more. Nice.
This book, it's packed with insights, I'm telling you.
So much good stuff.
So let's talk marketing.
Okay, yeah.
In today's world, you can't just rely on word of mouth.
Not anymore. Gotta be online.
How do you get your name out there, especially as a new construction company?
Shabana, he's all about digital marketing.
Digital marketing, that's the name of the game these days.
You gotta have a strong online presence.
Makes sense. Reach those potential clients.
Show off your projects, share those testimonials,
The proof is in the pudding.
and create engaging content. Show off your expertise.
What kind of platforms are we talking about?
LinkedIn, for sure.
That's a given.
Facebook, Instagram, the whole shebang.
So it's about telling your story, showing what makes your company unique.
Building your brand?
Not just another contractor, but a thought leader.
Exactly. Someone people trust.
What about advertising? Is that part of the mix?
Targeted advertising, that can be super effective.
Reach the right people.
The ones who are actively looking for your services.
So it's worth investing in.
But here's the thing, digital marketing, it's not a one-time thing.
You got to keep at it.
Consistent effort, that's the key.
Engage with your audience, track your results, adjust as needed.
It's a dynamic process.
It's like building a relationship online, just like you would offline.
Exactly, it's all about connection.
Speaking of building relationships, let's talk about your team.
The heart of any company.
What does Shabana say about building a strong team?
He believes your team is your most valuable asset.
No team, no project.
Invest in training. Create a positive environment.
Empower your employees.
Let them shine.
So it's about creating a culture where everyone feels valued.
Motivated, invested in the company's success.
It's a win-win.
But even with a great team, there's always a learning curve.
Especially in this industry, things are always changing.
So how do you keep up?
How do you promote continuous learning within your company?
Shabana, he's a big believer in lifelong learning.
Never stop learning. I like that.
Attend conferences, read trade publications,
Stay curious.
connect with other professionals, seek out mentorship.
It's about surrounding yourself with people who can teach you something.
People who can challenge and inspire you.
But let's face it, even with the best preparation, mistakes happen.
That's life, right?
How do we handle those inevitable setbacks?
Shabana's perspective on failure, it's really refreshing.
Tell me more. I'm intrigued.
He doesn't see failure as a weakness,
It's easy to get discouraged when things go wrong.
but he sees it as a chance to
Big
learn,
dance to get better.
analyze what happened, figure out what went wrong,
Extract the lessons.
and use those insights to improve your processes, your strategies,
So it's about turning those stumbles into stepping stones.
building a more resilient business.
A business that can adapt, overcome challenges.
That's the goal.
That's such a valuable takeaway. It's not about being perfect, it's about continuous improvement.
Couldn't agree more.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive into Deal of a Lifetime,
It's been a journey, that's for sure.
what are the key things you want our listeners to remember?
It's a blueprint for success, but it boils down to a few core principles.
Lay it on us. What are they?
Specialize, find your niche,
Become the expert.
cultivate strong relationships, build trust,
Trust is everything.
embrace technology, don't be afraid of it,
It's your friend, not your enemy.
invest in your team. They're your most valuable asset.
Happy team, happy company.
And never stop learning. Always be curious.
Words to live by. I like it.
If you can do those things, you'll be well on your way to your own deal of a lifetime.
It's been a pleasure exploring this book with you. Thank you for sharing your insights.
My pleasure, anytime.
But we want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
One last nugget of wisdom.
The book highlights all these innovative startups finding success.
Doing things differently, finding their own path.
It makes you think, what's your unique contribution?
What can you bring to the table that no one else can?
What's your special sauce?
That's where your deal of a lifetime awaits.
That's a great question to ponder. And with that, we'll wrap up our deep dive into the world of Egyptian construction.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
We hope you found this exploration of Deal of a Lifetime by engineer Mohammed Shabana insightful.
Go out there and build something amazing.
Remember, knowledge is only powerful when it's applied, so take these insights, build your dreams, and make your mark on the world.
Until next time.
Keep learning, keep building, and keep diving deep.